A startup is a company designed to grow fast. And today, this is the exact subject I want us to hit. I want to make it very clear for you that growth is your compass. It's what you're after. If you get growth, you get everything. Let's go.
Ridiculous.
Startup and companies are not the same thing. Startups have a highest potential for growth and the size of the business itself, whereas companies are more limited in their expansion and their growth speed. So why would anybody start a company instead of a startup then? Well, the answer is a company is a lot easier. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're starting a bar, you're starting a gym. The models are already established and you're trying to get exclusivity in a certain area. The business type and your neighborhood just becomes the idea in itself. Whereas starting a startup requires a lot of thinking. You're going to need an idea that innovates, that changes the game. And as we've discussed before, these ideas are very hard to find. You might think you have one, but most of the time it already exists, or it has issues in execution, or it's just not as good. So companies are easier but have less potential. But we're focused on startups here, so let's talk about them. Let's understand the role of growth. Growth has three phases. So in the beginning of your startup, you're going to have no growth. It's the stage where you understand what you're doing, you're trying to figure it out, you're testing new value propositions, and you're trying to find product market fit. And that's going to take a little while. And during that time, you're flatlining. You're not getting revenues, you're not getting any growth. That's stage one. Stage two is when you start figuring things out. You're starting to find some channels to get customers. You're starting to understand value propositions that fit the market you're in. So you're finding the what and how and where, and you're starting to see rapid growth. Once you validate your idea and your business plans holds together, rapid growth comes in. Number three is where the slow is going to slow down. That's going to be due to either internal limitations or you reaching the maximum capacity of the market in itself. So the graph is going to look like this: flatlining, then exponential up, and then exponential slowing down, like an S curve like this. Now, what should be our objectives with growth? What speed of growth should we aim for? Let me give you an analogy that comes from a paper that was sent by one of my close friends. We're going to estimate growth by growth per week, growth percentage per week, meaning how much growth are you getting every week? Three scenarios: 1%, 2.5%, and 5%. If you were to have a startup that's making $1,000 a month, you just validated your idea, you got your first few customers. If you grow 1% a week for 4 years, how much do you think you'll make in 4 years? The answer? About $8,000. Now here's the cool part. You take the same startup that's making $1,000 a month and you grow it by 5% for 4 years, 5% per week. How much do you think your startup will be making per month in 4 years at a 5% growth rate per week? The answer? 25 millions. Now that's some growth. So you see this difference between a 1% growth per week and 5% growth per week makes it from 8,000 to 25 million a month in revenues. So that is our key. The growth rate that we should be aiming for as startups is 7% per week. If you can hit that, you're on the right track. That is your compass. This is what your startup is. Your startup is growth, nothing else. If you're growing, you're winning. Everything else will fall into place. If you're not growing, nothing will happen. In other words, this is the North Star that's guiding you into your decision making. Whenever you have a decision to make, you should be thinking, what decision leads to faster growth? If you don't have committed to an idea already, you have to commit to find one of these rare ideas that can generate growth. Or you can join somebody else that already has an idea that generates growth and join as a co-founder for them. If you're looking for a project to join that has potential, I highly recommend you reach me on my contacts in the description. I'll be more happy to display with you the project. If you have skill in engineering, design, sales, marketing, or business, I'll be more than happy to connect with you and see what we can do together. This focus on growth makes your mind obligated to focus on the things that are currently happening in your startup and not only be thinking about long-term ideas and vision and plans. Although these are important, Using growth as your North Star is going to force your mind to look only at the short-term plays within your startup. I want to end on this point. In the real world, focusing short-term makes you lose, and focusing long-term makes you win. But in startups, it's the other way around. Focusing long-term makes you lose, and focusing short-term makes you win. This is the mindset you need to understand to win. Obviously, you're still going to be thinking long-term about your vision and your mission. But in your day-to-day, you're going to be locked in on the short term. And that's going to make you win. See you tomorrow for the last video of the series. Stay locked in, stay hard. See you tomorrow.
You look so sweet and you're so goddamn fine. Oh, I wanna make you